this is a hard question, and I'll start by calling the strength of these three salt solutions P sub A, P sub B, P sub C. And when we mix them in the ratio 1 to 2 to 3, you can imagine I can use any volume, so 100 ml, 200 ml, 300 ml. So the amount of salt here would just be PA based on that definition. Here would be 2 times PA because 100 ml has, 2 times PB because 100 ml has P sub B grams of salt, so 200 would have twice that. Same thing with the C portion. This would be 3 times P sub C. And all these would add up to the total amount of salt in 600 ml. That means the strength of this mixture would be that divided by 600 and then times 100 to convert that into percentage. And that is equal to 20. Now if I simplify this, 6 moves to the other side. This is my first equation for these 3 unknowns. Now I'll do the same thing for the second scenario, and the setup is exactly the same. So once you've done it for one, it's easier to do it for the same. In fact, you can just directly write it. 2 P sub B plus P sub C divided by, again, 600 times 100, and that's equal to 30. And that equation becomes 3PA plus 2P sub B plus PC. P sub C is 180. Now I can take these two equations and subtract them because that would get rid of P sub B terms. I'm looking to kind of at least simplify it a little bit. That term would drop out when I subtract, and I get this equation, which again I divide by 2. So I'll leave it at this point, and then I'll phrase the question where we're making the solution by mixing B and C in the ratio 2 to 7, so 200 ml, 700 ml. That means the amount of salt here would be 2 times P sub B here, 2 times P sub C. So the total amount of salt would be that, and divided by 900 ml, that's the total volume. So the strength would be this. Now they're asking for the ratio of the strength of D to that of A, which is simply P sub A. So I can simplify this. This is what I'm looking for as a ratio. And what I'm going to do is to write, here I have P sub A in terms of P sub C. So that I'll substitute here. And I'll also write P sub B using either one of these equations let me just use the first one, to write P sub B in terms of P sub C. So P of A is P sub C plus 30. So I'm replacing that here. Leave the P sub B, and then I'll just manipulate this. So subtract 30, that's 90. Combine those two. 4 P sub C. Yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of manipulations here. 2 plus P sub B is 45. So P sub B is 45 minus 2 times P sub C. So I'll just simply, actually I should have left it this way because I have right here 2 times P sub B. So I could just replace that here. Plus 7 times P sub C, and then 9 times P sub A, which is P sub C plus 30. Numerator becomes 90 plus 3 times P sub C. This is 9 times P sub C plus 30. And then I'll factor out a 3 here. 30 plus P sub C, and then denominator is 9 times P sub C plus 30. You'll see this piece is the same, drops out. I'm left with 3 over 9, which is 1 to 3, and that's answer choice B. So it's a mess of a question. I mean, honestly, I don't think I would be able to do this in the exam. In fact, when I saw it, I immediately knew not to get into this question. So if you're in the exam, this would be a good one to kind of stay away from. So yeah, I think it's equally important that you can sidestep the harder questions. But definitely practice with this question because they could ask an easier question based on this concept. I think there's another one, I don't remember the last few years, it's just very similar, this whole idea of the strength of a salt solution. So clearly they're kind of repeating some of the concepts again. So at least if you've seen it before, it does make it slightly easier. But of course, in this particular case, doing this question under exam conditions is hard. Now, there might be another easier way. This is how I approached it. And sometimes there is something easier that I also don't know, and something I need to learn as well. And can I then apply that under test conditions? That's always a challenge. So this is what I have so far, and the answer is B.